A noisy, emotional, sellout crowd is here at the Carver Arena to watch what college basketball is all about. Great rivals playing for first place in the Valley as the Redbirds of Illinois State are ready to meet the Bradley Braves. Good evening, everybody. I'm Frank Bassoni along with Mike Dimmick, and we welcome you to this special game. Not only a special game, Mike, but special atmosphere. What about the emotion, all the emotion that's involved in this rivalry?
Oh, I think it has a real big effect on this, but sooner or later tonight, the emotionalism is going to die down. The basketball playing will take precedent, and Bob Donewald says ISU will have to play its best game of the year. Bradley might have to play much worse than its usual for ISU to have a chance tonight.
A change in the starting lineup for the Redbirds.
There usually is, too. Bill Braxick will not start tonight. The first time, Tony Hollifield, who does start quite a lot, will be in his place, so 7-footer is gone. He'll be in soon, though.
We'll have the starting lineups and then the play-by-play. It's Bradley and Illinois State coming up next. It's the league leading and nationally ranked Bradley Braves, number 17 in the Associated Press and in today's Sports Illustrated issue, and the number 2 team in the Valley, Illinois State, the Interstate 74 rivals here at the Carver Arena in Peoria tonight. Bradley putting a record of 18-1, 5-0 in the Missouri Valley Conference. And Mike Dimmick, this game is indeed for first place in the league as the Redbirds are 4-1 in the Valley.
Well, if you watch the Redbirds throughout the season, you probably wouldn't believe that. But the fact is they've have finally matured, still have a lot of maturing to do. They have 2 freshmen in the backcourt, and Bob Donewald's systems traditionally are very hard to pick up. Yet, they are 4-1. By everybody's account, it hasn't been a flashy 4-1. They've scored 36 points and won a game at Creighton. But they are playing for first place tonight, and that's got to be a big experience for a lot of the kids you're seeing out there right now.
One of them, or more, very well known to the area people, Bill Braxick, the starting center in all of the games up till now for the Redbirds, is a 7-footer from Flanagan, Illinois, nearby, will not be starting tonight. He is not injured and no doubt will play, but he just isn't in the starting lineup as Bob Donewald's going with a little quicker lineup and getting Tony Hollifield, a 6'7 sophomore, in Braxick's place.
And to give you an idea just how young this team is, Hollifield, a sophomore, into the lineup. He will join another sophomore, a junior, and 2 freshmen.
This may be the largest crowd ever to watch a college basketball game in this arena. By the time we get finished with looking at the attendance, there are more seats here this year than there were a year ago, but that Peoria Emanuel Pekin crowd still probably will be number 1.
Yeah, I think you got to be Kenny Rogers to get a bigger crowd than this.
We're getting ready for the starting lineups for this exciting game, and we're delighted you could join us. For the Redbirds, coached by Bob Donewald in his 8th year, 152-71. The Redbirds are 9-7, 4-1 in the league. And Bradley, Dick Versace having his greatest year ever at 18-1. He's also in his 8th year. For the Redbirds, a 6'8 sophomore from Detroit, Cliff Peterson, opens at 1 forward. For the Braves, the counterpart, Donald Powell, 6'8", another sophomore. There are 20 freshmen and sophomores in this game. Bob Donewald on one knee as the Redbirds bring out their leading scorer, Derek Sanders, 6'6", junior from Chicago Christian. For the Braves, 6'7", sophomore out of Havana, Trevor Tempe, wearing a now consistent number 40.
It's only the middle of the season.
The center for the Redbirds tonight in his first start in the middle, Tony Hollifield, 6'7", 212, number 45 out of Oak Park, Michigan. He won't literally play center. For the Braves, Mike Williams will. Number 3 is 6'8" and 255 out of Chicago de La Salle. And where Bradley will have its biggest advantage tonight will be in the backcourt because of the experience factor, particularly of Jim Less. A freshman from Allen Park, Michigan is Mark Kratz, 6'1", 170 there. And now a senior captain of the Braves, Jimmy Less, averaging nearly 8 assists per outing. For the Redbirds out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, the other guard is another freshman, 33, Todd Starks. He's 6'3". And for the Braves, the man who is lighting it up every time he takes the court, 33, Hersey Hawkins, 6'3", a sophomore from Chicago Westinghouse, whose point average is now 20.5 per game on the season. There's Bob Donowald. He's been known to have a rabbit or two in the hat, and he'll need one tonight because, as he has acknowledged, Bradley has more experience and better personnel.
We'll be looking out very early on the inside game and how anybody in the ISU lineup with Hollifield and Peterson can keep up with Mike Williams. As you look at him line up on the court, nobody on this court wearing a red uniform has the kind of bulk that Bill Braxic had and the kind of bulk that might be able to compete with a Mike Williams.
Officials for tonight: on the left, Rich Eichhorst, and on the right, Ron Zetcher, both very familiar faces around the Missouri Valley Conference.
You may remember them because they were doing the game at Wichita when they called 5 offensive fouls on Hersey Hawkins. You might want to keep a look at that tonight.
There's the series between these two teams. They've never agreed in the press guides on what it is. Bradley says 29 and 25. We have 31 and 25, according to the notes in the Illinois State book. 58th meeting or whatever, it's still an exciting one. The Bradley crowd is a big one. The ISU crowd is here too, of course, in the minority. Bradley in the home white, the Redbirds in the traveling red, and the biggest game of the year for some fans in this area is underway.
As usual, Bradley won the tip. As usual, ISU will come out in a man-to-man. They don't play anything else.
They play a man-to-man that's tough. Inside Powell. And Bradley breaks on top with a Powell goal on baseline right.
It's easy to think that there's just an echo following you with this big crowd, but I feel like I'm echoing myself on this 3-point plays in Donald Powell. He has 4 or 5 of these seemingly every couple of games.
Powell is on Cliff Peterson, the sophomore, who's going to try to match up with Powell. As Mike indicated, the Redbirds play a tough man-to-man defensively. They sink and they force you usually outside. Powell makes a 3-point play and Bradley pressure.
Not surprising with the freshman guards, but they handle it well the first time.
10 is Mark Kratz. Inside for a deuce, Tony Hollifield. The score is tied, or check it, 3-2, the Braves on the 3-point advantage to Powell.
Another thing to look out on, the freshman Todd Starks is following Hersey Hawkins right now.
Inside it goes to Williams, around his man for 2.
That's the matchup to look at early. Hollifield is not a bad defensive player, but he's giving up about 40 pounds.
Kratz gets the ball ahead to Sanders. Will help with the numbers for a while till you become acclimated. Inside, that's Hollifield, 45. His layup is no. His rebound is rejected by Powell. The decibel level is already deafening. We played a minute. Hersey Hawkins steps in. Hawkins with an acrobatic move and a foul and a chance for another 3-point play.
Another new standard of hanging. Watch him go up, still up, and releases the ball at the last second. Hersey Hawkins, 20.5 a game, and he just keeps getting better and going higher.
Bob Donowald says he's in a class by himself. He was on that jump. Bradley 7, Illinois State 2. We've just begun. Bradley has an early 5-point lead, and they're in a zone. The Braves in a 1-3-1 set.
This is not a very good ISU shooting team, with the exception of Jeff Harris off the bench. It's not good from the outside in particular.
33 is Todd Starks, tied up. Inside it goes to Peterson. He missed. Williams throws it away.
All right. I don't know if we saw it, but Jimmy Lesnow is coming to the other side of the court telling Mike Williams, you are supposed to throw it to me. And that is something that Dick Versace does mandate. When you rebound, you look for Jim Les. Don't try to do something like that.
And his leadership shows up, as he reminded him. Sanders is on the baseline. He overshot it, and it's out of bounds to the Braves.
Early on, Frank, I've been impressed, at least on the offensive end. Hollifield's done a pretty good job against Williams and Powell.
I've noticed that he's been open a couple of times. I was very impressed with the way Both Mike Williams and Trevor Trempe played inside defense against Tulsa. Inside, this is Mike, has the ball slapped away by that tenacious Redbird defender. Kratz in the front court, is blocked by Hawkins. Oh, what a play by Hersey. Left, Williams. And now it's a Bradley-style tempo. Out of bounds. Illinois State, and there you see on the screen Hollifield.
Donald Powell, you also see limping, a collision by the standard, which we couldn't see. You're getting the best look at it right now. We can't see over there since it's behind the standard, and Hollifield's obviously in some pain.
The ISU bench didn't notice this right away. In fact, nobody is still over there with him. Now they're finally, Bob Donewald is pointing and gesturing, one of our players, and Rich Eichhorst just said, I didn't see it. Hollifield was laying on the ground for a while, Mike, before anybody along the benches noticed it.
Well, and Bob Donewald saying, I imagine something to the effect, it's your job to notice how many people are on the court. Hollifield apparently is all right. He's kind of dirty, and he's got a little bit of a limp. You see his thigh is also wrapped a little bit.
The first people to pick that up were our camera people. Frank Blaine over there probably was the first person in the building other than Hollifield to know where he was.
And Hollifield looked like he was very aware of the fact that he was laying in dirt.
7-2 Bradley, 17:30 to play. We've just begun the first half. Frank Bissoni and Mike Dimmick. You're watching Bradley in white, Illinois State in the traveling red. A sellout crowd at Carver Arena.
21, Jerry Thomas has come into the game for the Braves.
Mike Williams swings. Good hustle for the ball, won by the Redbirds. Hollifield is quick for a guy 6'7".
Good offensive rebounder. He might be a factor on the offensive boards tonight and could make a difference.
That's Hollifield on the baseline and busting Peterson up toward the post. Sanders is 35, their leading scorer at 12 a game. They get some points off the bench as their starting point averages would indicate. Sanders hit it.
They need big output out of Sanders. He's a junior and their leading scorer, and he has a tendency sometimes to just kind of disappear. It's been a problem with almost everybody on this team this season.
Hawkins to Thomas. This is Hersey along the base, hanging again in the air, and Illinois State has it. Up ahead, Todd Starks. This is Sanders. Missed that. Bradley rebound. Bradley's trying to get the game a quicker tempo. Excuse me, Mike, they don't want Illinois State to set up that tough man-to-man.
All right, the Redbirds have done a pretty good job on transition.
Les Smith, Kratz on the long board. 7-4 Bradley at the 16-minute mark.
When you see this ISU backcourt, it's really a version of the Bradley backcourt. Starks maybe the best athlete on the ISU team, and Kratz is a less kind of player. Just doesn't have the experience.
There's Hollifield inside, steps in with a left hand. Couldn't go down, tough break. And Bradley rebound. Good job inside by Trempe again. Hawkins. And Sanders, who had 27 points and 16 rebounds on Monday night against Illinois Chicago, pulls down another board. Redbirds are doing much better on the board now. Sanders again. He's 1 out of 3. And the rebound is to Mike Williams. Illinois State gets back on defense. Left is fouled. Foul is on Peter Sanders. His first.
They gave it to Sanders.
There's Taphorn into the game, the Pekin product, of course. 6'5", 200. Number 34. I was referring to local products earlier about Bill Braxton. Of course, the most local product of all is Pekin's Matt Taphorn. Good-looking player.
And came out of a system very like this. Hugh Friday does a lot of the same things, and that made the adjustment a lot easier for Matt when he came to Bob Donewald.
Jerry Thomas rebounds. This time it's Hollifield. Taphorn had 8 rebounds and 6 assists in the game against Illinois Chicago. A very good effort.
Matt's biggest problems have come on offense.
Shot missed by the Redbirds and a foul on Sanders. Bradley hit their first 3 shots and then has missed 7 straight. And the score is 7-4.
Both teams have cooled off a little bit. Dick Versace is going to make some changes, and everyone's going to talk about it.
We'll be back as Bill Braxic checks into the lineup right after these messages.
Bradley basketball telecast is protected by broadcast rights granted by Bradley University and the Missouri Valley Conference. Any rebroadcast, other use without the express written consent of TV 25 and Bradley is prohibited.
Jim Les with the ball as Bradley is shooting 3 of 10. Illinois State 2 of 10. Talk about defense. Jerry Thomas baseline. 3 of 11, and Thomas commits the foul.
The last time these teams met, and it was right here at the Civic Center, Bradley shot 65%, won 82-69, and ISU shot 55% in this game. So we have a drastic change right there, but it's been a change throughout the Valley. The defense is getting tougher everywhere.
Bradley committed its first foul on Jerry Thomas. Sanders, remember, has 2 for the Redbirds. Matt Haphorn inside walk. Got sandwiched between Les and Thomas and travel.
Donald Powell back into the game, and Jerry Thomas will sit down. So the original starting 5 for the Braves is in.
Illinois State, 10 freshmen and sophomores. Bradley, 9 freshmen and sophomores. And Luke Jackson, who will play for Bradley's next several seasons, is dressed tonight. Bill Braxic just into the game with a rebound and a foul on Donald Powell. So Bradley picks up a couple of quick fouls, and the Braves have been stranded on 7 for a long while. They were ahead 7-2. Of course, there's only been a bucket scored in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, this kind of thing seems to follow ISU everywhere. Last Saturday, it was West Texas State 8, ISU 16 at halftime.
Bradley changes his zone. Trempe on the point of a 3-2. Trempe did a fine job against... Oh, here's a great block against Tracy Moore of Tulsa, I was about to say. Bradley throws a shot back at the Redbirds at the 13:30 mark. 7-4 is the score in favor of Bradley. Haphorn's pass is too wide for Hollifield, and the Braves get it back on the 4th turnover by the Birds.
Once again, we talked about it against Tulsa, the kind of young team that doesn't shoot well, can't afford to make too many turnovers, and 4 is probably too many to Bob Donewald at this point.
In Bradley's last game, they steam clean Tulsa 71-58. Very impressively. Powell turns and has blocked by Braxic. The Redbirds have the ball and nobody's scoring. The pitchers are having a good day. A few shutout innings, as they say. Hollifield comes outside. Starks takes care of it. Haphorn's free. Another missed shot, but the tip out goes to Kratz.
And again, it was Hollifield working hard on the offensive boards.
Inside block and a foul on Powell. And Illinois State out-rebounded Illinois Chicago 50-32, and they're doing a good job on the boards right now. There's 33 Todd Starks, and Mark Kratz, the other guard, having a word with 43-year-old Bob Donewald out of Hanover College.
You can bet those guards will be having several words with Donewald over the next 4 years, but you might be looking at the guards for the next 4 years at ISU. They really like those two.
There's the free throw down by Hollifield. They've got another guard, Jeff Harris, who undoubtedly will come in. Haphorn, of course, can play guard or forward.
Also number 25, William Anderson, the only senior on the team, plays some guard. That's 5 guys you'll be seeing some of.
Bradley leading now 7-5 at 12:30. The Braves have been stuck on 7 for some minutes. We'll check that for you if we can. 18:20 in the game. Bradley had 7, and it's now 12:15. They still have 7.
Bob Donewald told me earlier in the week, we're not that pretty to watch, but that's never been a real big concern of his of what the cosmetic look of the team was. They are successful.
Williams goes baseline and shoots a little longer than he normally shoots. Powell rebounds. That could have been a sign of frustration. On the inside, the ball is out of bounds, still with the Braves. Bradley's defense has been very good in recent games. As we mentioned earlier, Williams and Trempe inside. Of course, Hawkins and Les are known for defense. Powell got it down! And Donald Powell picks up the personal on Hollofield like this.
Well, he's played the least of the 5-starter. He's done the most. Those long arms just get him into so many situations where if he hangs a little bit, somebody usually ends up slapping him. And he's get very good control once he jumps. Another score in the Valley. Indiana State winning at Southern, 31-27 at halftime as Powell misses the free throw once again.
9-5 Bradley, 11:45 in the first half. Zoned by the Braves. Haphorn looked at it, went inside to Hollofield, who banked it in. 5 for Hollofield, and the Redbirds are within a deuce.
Maybe the best-looking execution on the offensive end for ISU thus far, and we're almost 9 minutes into this one.
They're an execution team on offense. They'll run that passing game. There's a high lob inside Williams. Ooh, he missed one. A good defensive play by Braxic as he was up there with Williams to bother him. Starks put it up. Bradley crowd wanted traveling. Balls on the floor, and the possession is to the Braves. Check it to the Redbirds. Braxic is now in the front line along with Hollofield, and Sanders with the 2 personals is out. This is Kratz. Bradley by 2 at 9-7. Braxic tries to tie it and does. Nice hoop by Braxic.
Bill has shot only 3 shots in his last 2 games. Some of the people who watch ISU said that's partly his problem. He hasn't been looking for the ball a lot, and partly the guards' problem. They haven't been looking for him enough. You can bet that'll change tonight.
He's averaging 11 on the year with 6 rebounds a game. Krempe punches it into Mike Williams, who really stuck it in good inside.
Again, a good job at reversing the ball, and they got it to Williams, isolated for an easy basket.
Watch the Bradley defensive players on the middle and the inside stay home. In other words, stay inside and keep that pass out of there. The Redbirds set up those 2-man and 3-man and 4-man games with their passes, and they don't mind that other teams know what they're going to do. They just try to do it with such execution that it gets done anyway. Haphorn. Krempe, rebound, slapped away, and a personal foul. It looks like it's going against Hollofield, 45. That's his 3rd foul, and the Redbirds are in early foul difficulty.
And they're in early difficulty in a place they really can't afford it. When you got Sanders, who's going to have to come back into the game with 2 personals, and Hollofield, you're looking at a bulk of their scoring.
And a big factor is that that's the 16 foul, and Bradley only has 3, and that means Bradley will be in the bonus with the next foul. There's still 10 minutes plus in the first half.
But neither team is a bargain at the free throw line. The Braves have been improving. ISU really has been slumping as of late from the foul line.
Jimmy Less on the fly. His first 2 gives Bradley a 4-point lead.
Good move, and it also got some help with some picks. He left Kratz way outside.
Bradley sets some tenacious picks like the Redbirds do. Haphorn is given a shot on the wing, and he gives it across to Starks, who pulled the trigger and found the rebound. Braxic is in. Got the second one in the count. Fouls on Hawkins. Give the goal to Braxic. Tough move by Braxic inside. Foul on
Hawkins. Bill, by his own admission, will never say he's a great jumper, but he is 7 feet tall, and in a case like that, that makes all the difference in the world. All he's got to do is just be there and stick his arms up there.
He also weighs 250 pounds. And the lead is still 2, 13-11, 9.5 to play in the first half. The Braves against the Redbirds for the Valley lead. Les goes around 2 men. Powell sets a block low left. Mike Williams on the other side of the court with Hawkins. Les goes by his man to Williams. 6 points for Mike Williams, who has a big body but quick feet. Watch that sometime on Williams.
ISU looking more and more inside. Kratz, who had the ball there and now sent it out, is not much of a threat from the outside. I wouldn't be surprised as the game goes on to see Bradley sag more and just let Kratz have a 15-footer if he wants.
Starks is in the corner. The freshman guards have stayed in all the way. Kratz passed up that shot you talked about, but Braxic alone in the lane. Nice rebound. Sanders check it, and the rebound now to Bradley. Percy Hawkins fires. And the Redbirds blow it up.
Hawk that time ended up on the floor, but no whistle and apparently no foul.
Taphorn banks it in, and he shot the glass. You could see him just eye it up and trigger it.
You don't see that many guys do that anymore. It's the old John Wooden approach. I remember when I was growing up, they taught us how to do it, but it doesn't look as neat as when it swishes, so kids don't do it anymore.
Counts the same deuce. 8 minutes to go. Bradley by 2. Less. 4 points for the Brave captain, and it's a 4-point lead.
Jimmy showing more one-on-one moves than he's shown in the last 3 or 4 games, and he knows the freshman is guarding him.
Sanders steps in against Prempeh, is fouled by Less from behind. Sanders tried to get inside.
With Peterson, number 32, who started, comes back into the game. Braxic will sit down. So now you have Taphorn, Peterson, Sanders, Starks, and Kratz.
The smallest lineup the Redbirds have had in. Free throw is by Sanders, a 75% foul shooter. One of the better foul shooters on the team. Kratz is the best. That's 4 points for Sanders, and it's a 17-15 lead for Bradley. And the timeout on the court. There's 7:39 to go, and we'll be back at Carver Arena in a moment.
Now this Jimmy last basket, as you see him get by Mark Kratz, is the difference in the game. It's 17-15 Bradley. Who knows who will make the difference in this game? We'll be picking the Plaza Video of Morton Bradley Player of the Game. We'll do that a little bit later on. Plaza Video will make a donation in the name of that player to Bradley University's General Scholarship Fund.
Well, it's not as cold in the arena tonight as usual with all these people, but the shooting is bad. 6 for 21 for the Redbirds, 8 for 19 for Bradley.
It's interesting,
nice play by Taphorn to strip Howell, but Hawkins chases the ball down, but the Redbirds have it. Good effort by Taphorn and Hawkins.
What I was about to say is you hear us mention how cold it is down here sometimes, and we probably sound like gripers, but after the last game, Dick Versace and Hersey Hawkins made a big effort to say how the cold floor affected the play at the beginning.
Inside, the Redbirds are rejected again by the Braves, and Hawkins goes behind the back. All the way! Hawkins came from nowhere to spear the ball, and he was fouled.
Bob Donewald is furious on the other end. He is down in the corner doing some screaming, I believe, at Ron Zetcher. Now he's going to turn and scream for Bill Braxic to get into the game. The Hawk has done everything on that sequence but make a basket.
I don't know whether Coach Donewald was madder at a player or an official, or maybe even both.
Well, he just gave a major league glare to Cliff Peterson.
Free throw by Hawkins is no good, and once he's 0 for 2 from the line. He's only got 2 points in the game, and I say only because the average is 20 plus. At the 7-minute mark, Bradley leads 18-15 and gets Greg Jones in the game, a 6'5 sophomore. Prempeh gets a ref.
Now, when you see Greg in the game, watch him on offense. He's not the kind of guy who's going to score a lot, but he's the kind of guy who helps Hersey Hawkins score a lot more. That's a lot of screens inside. He's an ISU kind of player.
Kratz and Starks. Now Taphorn on the outside. And here's Sanders baseline. Nice looking jumper. About a 10-foot J along the baseline. Sanders will take that one as long as they give it to him. A 1-point game in favor of the men in white. Hawkins is inside. Tapped away by Sanders. Go ahead. Both these teams are playing defense on the inside like they're armed.
Yeah, good illustration there, too, of what's called help side defense. Hawkins got by Starks, but Sanders was there waiting for him to knock the ball away.
Greg Jones comes outside for the ball. Here's the high lob for the dunk. Mike Williams, the stinger, he's got 8. And the pass, once again, Jim Left.
Couldn't see it, but Jimmy was calling a new defense. I think they'll sag back into a 2-3 with Hawk and Jimmy at top. There's the Hawk.
Hawkins on the fly, a stinger.
Well, that made the defensive change look very good.
Bradley by 5. Hawkins has 5. 2 dunks in a row have brought the crowd into the game. tried the silencer. Bradley rebounds, and they have the momentum. Will they go back to Hawkins? Les needs help. Stolen. Nice play. Starks. Here he comes. His turn. There's 3 baskets in a row, all slam dunks.
I think somebody on these teams finally said, apparently the only way we're going to make a basket is by dunking it.
That's a thin book called How to Improve Your Shooting Percentage.
Yeah, one that I never had to read.
Williams posts up on Braxic. Turns. He missed, but Powell didn't. Bradley by 5 again. 4:50 left in the first half, and the crowd is alive.
Bradley again. You get a good look at a 2-3.
Sanders baseline. Mike Williams, a defensive gem. He threw it into the crowd.
His hands never get tired, do they? He slaps balls away and is ready to slap hands right after that.
Now there's timeout. 4:37 to play in the first half, and it's heated up. We'll be back in a minute. Mike Williams committed the foul against Braxic. Bradley scored 7 points in the first minute and a half of this game, and then 11 points in the next 12 minutes. As Braxic, who doesn't shoot well from the free throw line, 57%, missed that. He goes for 2.
Valley scored. Tulsa leading by 8 at home over West Texas. West Texas has just forgotten that scoring is an integral part of basketball.
Here is a lane violation against Hersey Hawkins of Bradley. It's a substitute throw for Braxic. The rebounds are even in this game at 13. Bradley leads on the scoreboard by 5, and there's 4:34 to play in the first half. This is Frank Bissoni along with Mike Dimmick. And these kind of games are good for college basketball. The players and the fans with the helium in the hearts and a lot of excitement. 5 points for Braxic, 24-20 the Braves.
Helium in the heart sounds dangerous.
Well, there's something here. Greg Jones is inside. Blocked by Braxic. Lots of center blocks tonight. Pratt pushes the ball up. Gave it to Braxic. Didn't know he was going to get it and scored. What a recovery by Braxic, who never knew the ball was coming until it hit him in the chest.
It hit him in the chest, and that makes you wonder if he didn't travel. Let's watch Pratt. Here's Bill. Oh, here it is. He never had possession. I really don't think he traveled there because he didn't really get possession of the ball.
Super replay that picked up just what we said as Jerry Thomas walks onto your screen, a 6'6" sophomore from Collins in Chicago.
And just like that, ISU is back in it. If Braxic can hit this, it's a one-point game.
And Braxic has given the Redbirds a lift off the bench, except at the foul line.
We should mention, if ISU does need a lift off the bench and their shooting has not been good tonight, look for number 23, Jeff Harris, a guard, to come in. You remember Brad Duncan? He's the new Brad Duncan. A guy can come in and pop from 20.
2 for 6 now for Braxic. It's a 1-point game. Bradley leading. 4 minutes to play, opening half. Hawkins and left. Jimmy pulls the trigger. 6 for left.
Been looking to score a lot more in this game. Surprisingly, he's only shooting about 37% of the Missouri Valley. He's having a good night.
49% for the season from the field. Ball stays with the Redbirds. You know, Bob Donewald said, one of the things, here's Harris, as you mentioned, coming in for the Redbirds, number 23 there. He's a 6'4" sophomore from Indianapolis. Bob Donewald said that one of the things that makes Bradley so successful is their ability to play well in pressure situations. And it seems just when Illinois State got within one, Les stuck that ball in.
And what he said along those lines also, he said, everyone knows who the heroes are supposed to be on the Bradley team. They know Hawkins, Les, and Williams will get it done. Everybody else plays their role, and he admires that.
Look how far Dick Versace came. It's all the way in the corner on the end of the bench to talk to Jimmy Les. Calling out on offense.
Harris now will pick up the assignment on Jimmy. He's a little stronger than Pratt.
Les comes around his man on the right and kicks it back to Williams. Williams tried to slam dunk it. And a foul. Foul is going to be on Braxic as Mike Williams started that dunk about 8 feet from the goal.
I think, I'm not sure from here, but I believe that was either Peterson or Sanders, and he went off to the floor like he was an 8-pin in bowling.
Mike Williams, the 28th player to score 1,000 points at Bradley University, has 8 in this game. Bradley 26, the Redbirds 23. Now Bradley by 4. 3:13 left to go in the half.
Kratz has come back into the game, so Jeff Harris's stint was short-lived, to say the least.
Braxic is covered up by Jerry Thomas. And Jerry Thomas spent a few minutes keeping the ball away from David Moss, even in a game that Moss got 31 points. He's got the quickness to do that. Under 3 minutes now. Bradley by 4. And Starks pumps. Nice shot by Todd Starks, his 4th point.
ISU hits 4 of those open shots, and they've got a lead in this first half.
The way it is, they're 2 down in a low-scoring half. Greg Jones and Jerry Thomas off the bench playing some minutes here for the Braves. Mike Williams. Now it's Jones. Jones is short. Braxic is fouled. So Braxic has been a force inside, as Williams has for the Braves.
There you get a look. Some of the action underneath the boards, and Jones, again, one of those frustration fouls. It looked like he caught one in the chops inadvertently by Braxic.
Trevor Trempe returns for Jones.
Sending Bill to the line hasn't been a bad idea tonight.
Not if you're a Bradley fan, because he has had himself a 2 out of 6 night there. And now the Redbird Rooters get the cheer as they close within 1 again, and this game could be tied at 2:28. Jim Left's brother Tom stopped right before the game, and he said, "You just know what kind of a game this is liable to be. It's liable to be one of those things again. Just as close as the Illinois State-Bradley rivalry is. It's even with 2:18 first half." Blocked by Braxic. What a job Bill has done. 3-on-1 Redbirds. Braxic. Good foul by Jerry Thomas. By Bradley. He saved the layup and will make Braxic go to the line for 2.
Sometimes it's easy to make fun of him, but Bill was down here on the transition game as the trailer. A lot of guys don't make that transition as fast. He's worked on his quickness a lot over the past couple of summers. He's never going to be running in the Olympics alongside Willie Golf, but he's made himself a better basketball player. There's the first lead of the game for the Redbirds of Illinois State, 28-27 at 2:09 on the 11th point by Braxic. He's already matched his average for the year. His high in his career is 22, and he got that against Southern Illinois. There's Matt Taphorn from Pekin. 2 kids who have probably the most reason to play well. They're from the area. They're folks, they're friends. Don't get to see them play on TV that much, and you know, they like to put in a good performance.
2-point Redbird lead. 2:05. Game is tied at 10:48, then at 2:09, and now the Redbirds lead, and Bradley tries to tie it back up. They go to the Hawks, and he's fouled. Well, he's the money man when you need points. Percy Hawkins.
Haven't heard a lot from a Hawk. Credit Todd Starks. The freshman has done a good job. That time he managed to get free from Starks after they kicked the ball inside. They kicked it back out to Hawk, and he was able to work on the baseline, where I don't think anybody can stop it.
Sanders in, Taphorn out. And it's no secret, of course, that Bradley won the recruiting war for Hawkins, and one of the competitors, and a close one, was Illinois State. They wanted Hersey, as did Colorado and many others. Hawkins now with 6.
If you talk to some colleges today, there are probably 100 people who said, "Oh yeah, we were really close to getting Hawkins." No one wants to admit this mistake.
Hawkins, a pair, And the game is tied with 1:54. The shot clock is, of course, but it's not been a real factor in the game. Braxic inside. Oh, great defensive play by Williams. And Peterson takes it down. Sanders clears. I don't know how Williams did that without a foul, but he did. And the Braves, with 1.5 minutes, shoot for the lead. Left and Stuckey are outside. They've done a lot inside to Williams. Now Hawkins. Did Les save it? Yes. Off of a Redbird. The one thing that never goes away is the effort of Les, the intensity of a Bob Donewald. Look at that.
Every play is very important to him. And while he will admire and talk about the skills of a Jim Les as longingly as of any coach that we talk to, and everybody loves Jim Les that we talk to, he is still as intense as anyone you'll see during a basketball game.
There's a steal inside by the third. Cliff Peterson with a good defensive play, and with 1:03, Illinois State could elect to trade Bradley 2 shots for 1 with the 45-second clock in effect. Let's see. Under 1 minute. They have that patience, deadly patience. Sometimes as a tarantula. John Pemberton is in the game for the first time. He's a 6'9" freshman. 41 seconds.
Right now, 17 on the clock as they keep working the perimeter.
The shot clock goes to 12. Taphorn shot the board again. Rebound, Pemberton. Foul, Bradley. And Illinois State, with 27 seconds to go in the first half, can take the lead again on a Hersey Hawkins foul, his second.
Frank, I think one of the keys in this first half has been Illinois State's ability to really do well on the offensive boards. Hollifield is somebody who does it all the time. Braxic is coming into the game and doing well, and now Pemberton, in his first sequence, gets to the line.
50% foul shooter made it. Illinois State with now William Anderson in the game, number 25, their only senior, and now everyone that's eligible to play for Illinois State except Sean Morris has played.
And Morris is a walk-on who's only played 2 games. We'll probably not see him tonight. Bradley does not have to shoot. The shot clock is on.
All right, 31-29 there. The clock, 20 seconds in the half. Bradley will have to settle for a tie or a deficit at halftime, unless they can pull off a three-pointer here. Les moves. 9, 8, inside Les. Thomas fires at 5. Rebound on the floor. 2, 1. That's going to be the half. Hawkins got it off and missed. I think it would have counted.
And when he shoots the last second shot, you never say die until it falls.
Well, you're taking a look at Dick Versace, and there's Bob Donewald. The first half war is over, and Illinois State, the leader after 20 minutes, 31-29. We'll be back at Carver Arena in a moment. Arena still buzzing at the halftime as Illinois State leads Bradley 31-29 in a surprising first half that's seen by not only Mayor Jim Maloof on the right, but the Secretary of State of Illinois, Jim Edgar, on the left, here at the arena tonight as a guest of the mayor. So we welcome not only, of course, Mayor, but Secretary of State Jim Edgar tonight to Carver Arena and to the game between Bradley and Illinois State. Well, Bill Braxic may not have started this game, Mike Dimmick, but 12 points off the bench has been a big factor in the Redbird lead.
Well, I don't know if the substitutions always work this well for Bob Donewald, but for the first time this season, he decided not to start Braxic. And a lot of times, Donewald makes changes in his starting lineup, not really on terms of performance or who is a better player, but just on hunches or who did better in practice. This one worked well because I thought they got a lot of production out of Hollifield, too, until they got into some foul trouble.
They did, and Mike Williams had a good half for Bradley on the scoring end. He had 9 points, and he was a force inside, along with Donald Powell with 7. But the question again is, will Hersey Hawkins come through and carry Bradley again point-wise?
He's done it every time. Todd Starks, however, is a freshman. Whether he can do it for another 20 minutes and whether he will be doing it for another 20 is still to be seen.
Okay, we'll be back at Carver Arena with more in just a moment. Lead over Bradley 31-29. Illinois State held Bradley to 38% shooting in the first half. but the Redbirds only shot 30% themselves. Now we're ready for courtside, and Mike Dimmick has a guest. Mike?
All right, Frank, thank you very much. We are with the Illinois State Athletic Director, Bob Frederick. You come from Kansas this year. How does this rivalry compare to some of them that you've seen in the Big Eight?
Well, Mike, this is really a great rivalry, undoubtedly the best college rivalry in the state of Illinois, and I've had the opportunity to be a part of some really good ones: Kansas State, Kansas, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, BYU, Utah, Stanford, California, and this certainly is right there with all those.
People in Central Illinois have been hearing so much about your new arena. How is that standing right now? I guess it's not standing. You haven't even broken any ground on it yet.
Well, Mike, we're definitely going to have the new arena, and we hope to get the bids back in on March 1st in time for the March meeting of the Board of Regents, and hopefully we'll break ground later this spring.
Any kind of idea right now when this team will be able to play in it?
Well, I think we'd probably have to realistically say be the 88-89 season. We were hoping maybe 87-88, but probably 88-89.
We would be remiss if we didn't ask you about this score, 31-29. Did you expect this?
Well, I figured that we'd really play Bradley a good game because we play such solid defense, and I think our kids were really ready for this game, and so I'm very pleased, that we're able to be in a game at this point.
Frederick, we thank you for joining us at halftime. Now we'll give it back to Frank.
Thank you very much, Mike, and the busy day that the Bradley Braves had the chilly night from the field, and so did Illinois State. Credit some defense for both of those, but there's some interesting stats here, Mike. You can take a look.
Well, the one thing you can shoot down is Bob Donald saying we're going to have to play the game of the season to win this. They're shooting 30% and leading by 2 at halftime. And their leading scorer, Derek Sanders, is 2 out of 11. But the free throws have made a difference. ISU 11 of 14. Braxic had 6 of those. There you see 79%. They out-rebounded Bradley. 10 of those were on the offensive boards. Turnovers about even. Steals go to Illinois State. Individually, some things stand out, though.
They really do, because 3 guards had the most rebounds in the game, 6 apiece for Mark Kratz and Todd Starks for Illinois State, and 6 for Hersey Hawkins of Bradley. And, of course, he lines up as a guard, but he can jump with anybody. But startling indeed that Mark Kratz had 6 rebounds. Bill Braxic had 12 points. And I want to clear something up, because we mentioned at one point that Braxic was 2 for 6 free throwing. Well, he was, but the two of the ones he missed, there was lane violations on Bradley, so they don't count as misses. And at halftime, his shooting percentage from the free throw line is 6 of 8 to go along with 3 field goals and 12 points to lead the Redbirds in scoring.
You can bet Dick Versace is going to keep trying to find somebody to do a better job on the boards. ISU is out rebounding him. You see a guy who will be doing a better job for Bradley in the next 4 years. That is Luke Jackson, who is dressed out, but Bradley says they will not play him until next year. They'd like him to get accustomed to the academic rigors of Bradley and just get used to being a college student. That was part of the plan when he was recruited, and his high school coach insisted that both Oklahoma and Bradley, the last 2 schools that Jackson was deciding, both adhere to that, and Bradley, I assume, will stick with that.
Just to be clear for the fans who don't know, Luke Jackson is now a student at Bradley, was recruited out of Springfield Calvary High School, is a 6'9", well-sought-after player. Second half begins. Coors Beer, Coors Light, Cohen's, S&K Chevrolet, North Point Video in Peoria, and Plaza Video in Morton. Hope you're enjoying Bradley and Illinois State. Frank Bissoni and Mike Dimmick. The Braves trying to tie it up as they trail at the half, 31-29. Trevor Trempey's first shot. Tipped by Williams, rebound Braxic. He didn't start the game, but he started the second half. Hollifield has 3 fouls for the Redbirds. Donald Powell, 3 fouls for the Braves. That's it for foul trouble.
ISU starting not a team that started the game, but this is the lineup that's been the best so far.
Inside Sanders, another block by Bradley, this one for Powell. And Bradley had 6 block shots in the first half. And now adds another. Check that. That was, each team had 6 in the first half. Bradley now has 7 block shots in the game. The crowd standing.
Bradley stays in the zone.
Braxic's inside. He's got the ball there. Steps in, puts it up, and no. But a foul. And it seems, Mike, whenever either team can punch the ball to the low block to the center, there's a foul on the other team. Powell just got his 4th foul. Donald Powell's 4th. and there's 19 minutes to play in the game, and Dick Versace has to go to the bench.
He will summon Greg Jones, who now comes into the game. Powell will sit down. Illinois State has not gotten the ball to Braxic for the last 2 games. We see in this game what a difference it makes when it does. They've been very patient. The guards have been looking inside, and when they see a little bit of an opening, they give it to Braxic. And ISU has been unstoppable with him.
13 for Braxic, who finished in 1983 as the runner-up in the Mr. Basketball voting in the state of Illinois.
And the winner was
Marty Simmons from Lawrenceville. The free throw is good. It's 33-29. The Redbirds stretch out their lead. Bradley, obviously the favorite, protecting the 17th rating in the nation and first in the Valley. Hawkins comes to the goal, swatted away by Braxic. The Redbirds have the roll. Kratz, inside pass intended for Hollifield, and a steal by Kratz. Heads-up play by Mark Kratz. Block again by the Braves. Williams got that one. Bradley runs. What a game. Every time somebody takes it inside, it's a block. Jimmy Less missed. Bradley still down by 4. Can Illinois State pull off one of the season's big upsets? We'll see in 18 minutes.
Look at Williams pushing with Braxic. Good battle.
Sanders let fly, and Jones pulled it down. Will Bradley go man-to-man? Will they press? Will Illinois State? Here's a holding foul against Todd Starks.
And that one started about 10 seconds ago. Hawk came down, tried to set himself in the lane, and Starks right away started grabbing at him. Victor Say started pointing right away as well in case Ron Zetcher and Rich Eichhorst missed it.
Percy Hawkins was 2 for 7 from the field in the first half, and they really are shadowing him. Right now, Kratz is watching him. He's too tall for Kratz. His Starks switches with him. Now, of course, Illinois State switches in this man-to-man. That's why it has zone principle.
Switch well, and their weak side help. Bob Frederick told me at halftime off camera he thought Bob Donewald teaches weak side help as well as anybody in the nation.
Mike Williams missed the shot inside, and the Redbirds run it out. Bradley still hasn't scored in the second half, and their shooting percentage is down in the 20s now. As they were only 30, well, not quite. It's pretty close to that, though.
Enough to be trailing.
Baseline, stepping on the end line was Starks. So Bradley gets the ball. A long way to go, but Illinois State is tough to shake.
Big Ten tonight. Illinois comes up with a win by 2 on the road at Ohio State. They're always tough on the road.
10,450. Inside Williams, blocked and foul on Braxic. And Bradley does well when they go inside. That's the 3rd foul on Braxic.
That could make a difference eventually because Braxic has really been the difference in this game for Illinois State. Didn't really go for a fake. Mike might want to do that from now on. All the Bradley players might be. Braxic is just blocking everything.
1 for 2 for Williams at the foul line. And by the way, Dad, if you're watching out there, happy birthday. Tonight, my dad's birthday. Roanoke, Illinois is celebrating a little bit.
Everyone passes along their best to him.
Mike Williams ready for another, trying to cut the lead to 2. And does. And Bradley pressures. And Illinois State throws it away. The threat with the defense to make that happen.
And with a young backcourt, you can bet Dick Versace might want to do that a few more times. A few turnovers could help Bradley win this one. They're going to need all they can get, apparently.
Inside it goes to Big Mike. He missed. Greg Jones with a strong rebound and a foul on the Redbirds. It's on Sanders. 3 on Sanders.
Matt Taphorn will come back into the game. He's been in and out about 3 times. Sanders will sit down as Bob Donewald has to keep adjusting and make sure nobody gets in too deep a foul trouble.
Illinois State won the rebound battle in the first half, 21-25. Hawkins inside. Missed. Bradley's now 0 for 7 in this half. Greg Jones. Again. Goal!
Took them 3.5 minutes, but they finally get it, and it's tied up once again.
On the 8th try from the field in the second half, Bradley gets its first hoop. 16-30. Foul on Williams. And you didn't have to be very close to that to be able to see that one.
That's now 2 on Big Mike, so he's not in difficulty yet. That's not a shooting foul, only 3 or 2 team fouls on Bradley, 3 on Illinois State.
Hope Joe Stoll feeling better with that eye injury. Assistant athletic director at Bradley, of course, the famous former head coach of the Braves, recuperating. We send our best to him. Braxic along the baseline is held and fouled, and quickly Mike Williams has 3.
Well, just like that, in one sequence, he is in foul trouble.
Gets his ace. Making some adjustments on the sidelines along with Donowald. They never stop. They're never still. Caphorn playing outside. Bradley's in his zone. Inside, nice play. Hollifield blocked by Williams, his 5th. Bradley could take the lead. It's tied at 33. And block shots, of all things, commonplace in this game. Starks and Hawkins just hand-fighting each other. Ball out of bounds to the Redbirds. Rich Eichhorn says Williams hit it last. And Ron Setzer disagreed and overruled him. Now watch Bob Donowald be mad. And Bob Donowald really doesn't believe this.
Eichhorn was right there, pointed the other way. Setzer, halfway across the court, came over to correct him.
Now Williams has it spinning 2. And that's a big play. And Bradley, with 13 from Mike Williams, takes the lead.
The big men have made a difference in this game. Braxic off the bench and Mike with his 13 points.
And it might make a difference who gets that 4th foul first. Starks shot. Braxic is stripped by less, but Illinois State retains possession.
In fact, when you look back at some of the other ISU teams, the successful teams of the past 2 or 3 years, the one difference I can pick up is that those teams had a good outside shooter, a person like Lou Stefanovic who could come out and hit that jumper. ISU really hasn't shown anyone tonight who can do that.
They haven't used Harris in that role as much as we thought they might. But they lead, they trail only by 2. They led at the half by 2, trail now with 15-10 by 2. Inside is Freeman. Hollifield for a jump. A great pass by Kraft.
7 now for Hollifield, and you're right. That was a nice bounce pass. Set up Hollifield perfectly. He was facing the basket when he got it.
Bradley 2 out of 10 from the field in the second half. Tied. Left. Yes. 8 for Jimmy. You're right, Mike. They don't have the pure outside shooter in the Brad Duncan. And it's not exactly like facing tanks and shrapnel inside like it used to be with Rick Lamb and those muscle guys either. But it's still a tough team to beat. On the baseline, Illinois State gets Starks, and he was fouled.
Starks is perhaps the one player on this roster who could really develop into the kind of guy. He's a Ricky Johnson type. You remember Ricky because Mr. Instant Excitement. They like Starks and like to compare him, except they say Starks is much more a refined player as a freshman than Johnson was. He's got the ability to go and get his shot, as you saw there.
Starks free throw misses, and Bradley holds on to their 2-point lead. Great stars of the past of the Redbirds, of course, Doug Collins, Bubbles Hawkins, Lamb, Whitlow, Jeff Wilkins. Now there's a timeout. And with 14:30 to go, it's a 1-point Bradley lead, and we're back in just a moment.
Here's a look at that questionable call a little bit earlier in the second half. Mike Williams, did the ball go off his hand or was it tipped out of bounds? See how tough it is. Rich Eichhorn looking around and eventually looking for help and getting it from Ron Setzer. Be sure to ride the Bradley bus. A reminder that the Bradley bus leaves Malnati's Pizza for Carver Arena every home game day. You can beat the traffic, enjoy Bradley memorabilia, free beverages also along the way. It's brought to you by TV25 Malnati's, Coors Beer, and GP Transit. 682-0463 for tickets.
Duffy comes to the right. 14-18 in the game as Mike Williams turns and misses. But Hawkins rebounds and a whistle. Might be the 4th foul on Braxic. No signal yet by Ron Setzer. No, it's not on Braxic.
Matt Taphorn got the foul, and there's a look at the Pekin native. And now Bob Donewald will rearrange once again. Taphorn out, Derek Sanders back in.
3 for 11 from the field for Bradley in this half. 1 for 4 for the Redbirds. Bradley by 1 with the ball. Greg Jones is in. Donald Powell, in case you joined late, is out with 4 personals. But Jones has 4 rebounds in this half alone. A good lift. Hawkins inside. Blocked by Braxic. 5 block shots by the tower from Flanagan.
Once again, it's that help from the other side. He thought he had beaten Starks, turned around, and there's Braxic. Which is kind of the summary of this entire game.
13:40 to play. Bradley by 1, and the Redbirds shoot for the lead. This is Sanders. That's Bradley's ball, off Braxic. Well, the shooting results haven't been pretty, but the effort is here, and these teams are really crashing against each other.
Well, all the talk in a whole week of talking about the rivalry and saying the emotion and all that, every once in a while the things that we talk about do come true, and it's happened tonight.
Trempy comes out top. Sanders just ignores him and sinks way back to help on the ball. Braxic guarding Williams inside. He wants that ball.
Now watch inside. Look at all the players looking around, looking behind him, seeing if somebody's gotten free.
Now they won't guard Jones or Trempy much outside. Trempy took advantage of it.
Now let's watch Trevor. Oftentimes when he hits his first shot, he gets the confidence to take more and make more.
Just under 13 minutes to play. Bradley's inched out to a 3-point margin.
Final in the Valley. Tulsa wins against West Texas State. So that series is even 1-1 on the season.
Hollifield is inside with Sanders and Braxic. Kratz and Starks, the freshman guard. Sanders again.
Good job by Kratz. Something Jimmy Les does a lot of. Draw the people to him and then dump it out with a bounce pass. 8 for Sanders.
Kratz guards left and Starks on Hawkins. 2 guys sink off into the middle, the men guarding Trempy and Jones, and Braxic guards Williams, the principals of the defense for the Redbirds.
Sanders now on Hawkins. The Hawk looks to post. No, it goes back outside.
1-point Bradley lead. Williams down low. 3 men around him. Blocked by Braxic. Braxic from behind. And the Bradley bench is furious. Looks like you almost have to have a tennis racket to get that from behind. Starks puts the Redbirds in the lead.
And Dick Versace is going to say, we got to talk about this.
11:54 to play. The Redbirds have taken the lead, and an angry Dick Versace calls time. Back at Carver Arena after this. Carpeting on sale now during Lee's Factory Authorized Sale at Cohen.
Dick Versace wondering why the high-flying Hawkins has been grounded tonight. Well, we can tell you why. It's been a terrific defensive job by Todd Starks and a lot of help from the other side. And now we'll see if Bradley can maybe free him up. Once again, Starks and Sanders will watch him.
Somebody would ask me if he could stop Percy Hawkins with one guy, or he would have a bad game. You'd say it would be about as likely as the Mississippi River drying up. And this game's a long ways from over, and there's the Hawk in the lane. He missed, forced it that time, falling away. The Redbirds with the lead, 40-39, and the ball. 11 and a half to go.
He had to work real hard just to get that shot, just to get the ball, and then to get the shot out. It was a good example of what's going on.
Hollifield rolled it in and then out. And Jones still good on the boards for Bradley. His 5th board in this half. There's been long minutes of time when Bradley has been held without points by the Redbirds. And the other way. Jones eyed but didn't. See, now they just sink back off of him. Instead, Mike Williams barges in for 2.
Michael's been the one person who's been able to shoot over Braxic, and he has 15 now. Another final in the Valley. Southern Illinois surprised Indiana State 65-62. That one at Carbondale.
Sanders is on the baseline, covered nicely by Hawkins. Starks got it.
ISU did not shoot well from the outside in the first half. They are getting some of them in now, and they're leading.
The lead changes hands again. The Redbirds by 1. 10 and a half to go. Starks, the freshman, at 6'3", shadowing Hawkins. Bradley tries to run a screen for him. Les heads to the right. Bradley tries to take the lead. Les goes in. Mike Williams missed. Rebound on the floor. Jump ball, possession, Illinois State. And all of a sudden, Mike, you can almost sense the Bradley crowd becoming nervous.
The same kind of frustration that I think the players are feeling on the floor as Bradley a little slow in the transition for a minute. I don't think they realized it was in.
Starks looked at it, and Jones covered him up. Braxic calls for the ball. He's down low. He missed. And Bradley, trailing by one, gets it. Bradley has not gotten any string of points tonight. That momentum. Jones on the baseline. Williams on offensive board. Foul on Pratt.
You can see Dick Versailles. You didn't see him. You saw his hands as he turns to the crowd and gives what could best be described as mock applause.
Now he's talking a little bit to not only Trevor Trempe, but Ron Zetcher, you can bet, along the sideline.
Yeah, I don't think Trevor heard a word of it.
Powell out with 4 fouls. Inside, Greg Jones is held and fouled. Bradley has a chance to take the lead. And
credit the Hawks that time with realizing that they were going to sag off of him. 2 players came to him. He just did a little hook pass to Greg Jones, and that sent him to the line. Good look by Hersey.
Foul, Mike, the foul was on Starks. Jones missed the chance to tie the game.
Greg still having problems, 53% from the line on the year.
This could be a game decided right there at that line. Jones, the sophomore, from Robeson, missed them both. And Illinois State has the ball. Bradley stays zone. The Redbirds know this is a big possession. Braxic calls for it. Starks fires. Yes! Todd Starks doesn't play like a freshman. He has 11,
and he's made a difference before against Drake. He did the same thing at Illinois State, hitting some key baskets from the outside and really turned that game around.
The clock slips under 9 minutes. Bradley slips 3 behind. Jones drops it out of bounds, and Bradley's having trouble, and Dick Versailles is going to have to stop it again for Greg Jones. Len Bertolini gets off the bench. Time 8:51 to play, and we'll be back. Stay with us.
For its own player of the game. We'll select it a little later on. Plaza Video and Morton, Bradley player of the game. Plaza Video will make a donation in the name of that player to Bradley University's General Scholarship Board.
Len Bertolini has come in for Bradley, a 6'3" sophomore, replacing Greg Jones. Powell still out with 4 fouls. Bradley has gone man-to-man for the first time at the 8:42 mark, trailing by 3 points. Now let's see what Illinois State does.
With Jimmy Les now on Starks, who has been hot for the last 2 or 3 minutes. There he is.
Left. Now Sanders pulls outside. Illinois State runs the clock down to 20 seconds on the 45-second shot clock. They'll make Bradley place minutes of defense if they can. Braxic inside. Down to 9. Sanders. He hit the side of the board, and the ball is loose, out of bounds, to Bradley.
And again, it looks like a bowling alley over there. Players sprawled all over the place, going for the loose ball. Every possession in this game is getting more and more serious.
Bradley looks for the spark. They're down by 3. 8:05 left. The crowd tries to urge the Braves on. Illinois State now has Sanders watching Hawkins.
He's been doing that for the last 5 minutes and really has done a great job.
Les goes to the paint and comes back out. Bradley runs the offense. Bertolini on the left wing outside. Mike Williams goes inside, and Braxic got him.
4 personals on Braxic. front line of ISU is in some foul trouble. Bob Donewald has been able to switch players and not make it too much of a problem until now, but now he has a bigger problem. That's 17 fouls on ISU.
51% from the foul line. Mike Williams is there now. 3 out of 4 so far in this game. Bradley's had more shots than the Redbirds this half. 5 of 18, 5 of about, and Illinois State 5 of 10. That was a stat of just a moment or so ago. Mike Williams put it down. Bradley is down 2 as Matt Taphorn checks in. Braxic with the 4 goes out.
It means Mike might stay a factor on the offensive end as the smaller Illinois State team is in right now with Hollifield, Sanders, Taphorn.
17 for Williams. Bradley's within 1. 7:40 left. Bertolini guards Starks. It's now Pratt. Whistle away from the ball. Pushing on Prempeh. He's trying to guard Sanders.
Dick Versace right in front of us. I don't know if you can hear, but he said that's ridiculous.
Trevor Prempeh agrees. The Redbirds don't, and they have the ball. 5 team fouls on Bradley. The Braves are in the bonus if they get free throws. Taphorn at the point. Bradley's gone back zone. Oh, nice shot again by Starks outside.
3 long baskets in this half. 13 for the game for Todd Starks.
Came in averaging 4.7 points a game, and he's lit it up with 13. The Redbirds by 3. And is this ever a big trip down for the Braves? Nicked away by Taphorn. Bradley looking for a hoop. Who will they go to?
Mission goes on. Starks is now watching Hawkins.
Bertolini tries outside. Short. Illinois State rebounds, and under 7 minutes, a 3-point lead and the ball. Will Donald Powell check back in here shortly? Depends what Bradley needs. They're in a man-to-man. Maybe Dick Versace doesn't find this to be the time for Donald. I'm just saying that because he's got 4 fouls. If you joined us late and wonder about him. Craps, number 10, at the top. 6.5 to play. The shot clock's at 17. Taphorn releases.
ISU has really run their offense well, and when the shot has been there, they've taken it. That's not something they've done all season long.
A frustrating game for Bradley as they're down 5. Now 48-43, but Mike Williams cuts it to 3. And Williams with 19.
That one jump shot probably will send Bill Braxic off the bench very fast. Hollifield just doesn't have the bulk to stay with Williams on that end.
Bradley needs a defensive stop. And Illinois State looks for the hoop. Taphorn, who hit one a moment ago. Lets Hollifield have this one. And he missed. And Prempeh snares it. And Bradley could slice it to 1. 5.5 minutes to play. And Carver Arena will go bonkers if Bradley can get this one down. Big Mike goes! The foul is on Taphorn. Listen to the crowd.
Well, we said it on the last possession, and Bradley went right back to him, and look who's back into the game. Hollifield goes out, Braxic back in. Mike Williams' easier baskets probably have ended for the night.
21 points for Williams, who averages 13.3 points a game. He's 5 of 6 from the free throw line, as you can see, and missed. And Bradley still falls 1 short, 48-47, 5:20 to play. What a game.
Then he'd have to be a good rivalry for this to be a good game. This would be a good game by itself.
Starks, who's hit some clutch hoops for the Redbirds. And Matt Taphorn plugs it. Doesn't go. Rebound to Bradley. Taphorn hit the one from the corner, missed the one from the top, and Bradley shoots for the lead at the 5-minute mark. Donald Powell off the bench.
Now Bradley will try to take advantage of his height. Now let's see if they go back to Williams.
Or maybe to the Hawk. Bertolini's on the left wing, and Trempy's wide open. He couldn't get it. Look at Illinois State box out and get the rebound. Trempy shot for the Bradley lead, but couldn't do it. And now Illinois State with the hammer. 4.5 to play. Starks goes to the baseline. Taphorn hit the deck. Look at the defense. Steal by Bertolini. Bradley double-teamed the ball and stole it. Williams is slow coming on the transition. Left. Bertolini rebounds. And Bradley holds possession with 4:05 to go and gets a new clock. Big Mike goes. Bradley leads. With 4 minutes to play, Mike Williams buried one. His 23rd. It's 49-48 Bradley.
Powell comes back into the game. Bill Braxton just with a defensive mistake. He went to overplay the ball, and they snuck it past him.
And now everybody's up. Bradley with 6 points in a row makes Illinois State ask for timeout. With 3:53 in the game, Bob Donowald goes back to work to try to get the lead back. Wow, what a ball game. And Mike, while we have an opportunity with the fans jumping and hopping, we want to say thanks to our statistician for this season and last on Bradley basketball, Brad Johansson, who's leaving to take a job as a news reporter in Lansing, Michigan. And a thank you, a well done job, and I know you'll be a success in Michigan, young man. All the best.
Yeah, and I have to pass along mine as well. He's made us look very good on several occasions.
He passes along the numbers, and that's a tough job, and he does it extraordinarily well. We thank him and all the Bradley crew that helps bring you these telecasts. Coors Beer, Coors Light, Cohen's, S&K, Chevrolet, North Point Video in Peoria, Plaza Video in Morton. Hope you're enjoying tonight's game. Frank Bassoni and Mike Dimick are, and right now there's 3:53 to go, and Bradley leads by 1.
This is just good old basic basketball. Two teams playing man-to-man defense. No gimmicks, nothing like that. You work around, you either make your shots or you don't, and it may come down to the final shot in the final minute. Boy, we got more coming up here.
The first time that Dick Versace and Tony Baroni go against each other, at least at the collegiate level, will be coming up. But we've got, to the teams, this must seem like forever left with 3:53. Bradley holding on to the lead, but Illinois State has the ball, and this is quite a scene right now. Bradley has run 6 points in a row. And
Mike Williams has been the fourth. And listen to maybe the biggest
fans cheering on this Redbird team. And Bradley's on his own defense. 3:45 in the game. The lead switching hands. Kratz gets free and then is covered. Who will take the shot for the Redbirds to try to give them the lead? 17 on the 45-second shot clock. Starks. Goal!
Another example of how this kid is good at getting his shot. The pump fake, found himself all alone, he shot it right away. That's 15 for Starks.
And the lead once again goes back to the men in red. Williams posts up on Braxic and wants it. Donald Powell back in the game now. Touches the ball for the first time in a while. Powell's on the weak side, away from the ball. 3 minutes, 2 seconds in the game, and 22 on the shot clock.
Remember, the Hawks still has not been a factor in this game.
7 in the game, none in the second half. But Mike Williams has! And once again, the big guy gives Bradley the lead.
25. He's playing the game of his life, at least here at Bradley.
2:38 to go. Bradley by 1. These teams are showing remarkable poise. Here's Taphorn. Goal!
Kind of shot he used to hit all the time at Pekin High School. He's been having trouble from the outside this season. But boy, he'll take that one with 2:20 to go.
He's played here when this place has been jumping like this before.
I was going to say, he's right at home.
West from Williams missed and Braxic rebound. Illinois State, the lead, the ball, and 2:08 to play. Wow.
Now Bradley trailing. They're going to stay in the zone, apparently. I thought they might come man-to-man.
Under 2 minutes to play in the game. What a nail-biter. Illinois State by 1. 3-man, Hollifield, foul on Powell, he's gone. Donald Powell did not play many minutes in this game.
He sends Hollifield to the line, where Hollifield has been a liability for the Redbirds. Only 45%. His greatest problems have been coming lately, but he makes a lot of hay on this baseline move throughout the season. Good step in. Powell a little late and got the body. And another timeout.
We're going to be back with the final 1:49 in a moment. Stay with us.
Incredible patience in the second half, finding the open man, hitting the open shot. Starks has really been a revelation from the outside. That Taphorn just hit one, and this is the way Bob Donald, I think, wants him to play on offense.
Hollifield, only a 45% foul shooter, 1 out of 2 so far, made that. And you can see as he pumped his fist, he knows that his team is now leading by 2.
Now, Braxic with the 4 fouls is going to go back down to the other end. Kratz replaces him.
And a miss, and Bradley's ball, and a chance to tie the game as the Braves are 2 down. Hawkins still shut out in this half. Post up. Now Williams comes across. Prempeh lobs it down to him. Mike turns. Got a 5th foul on Braxic.
Fouls out, but he might be the reason ISU wins this game if they do. He's done a tremendous job with 14 points, a real force on defense, but this time he went for the fake. So many coaches complain that they think Williams gets away with a lot of fouls there. 2 very physical players going at it tonight, and Bill doesn't want to leave just yet.
Both players 250 or more. That's 500 plus pounds, 2 guys banging as Jerry Thomas checks in for Bertolini for Bradley. Mike Williams will shoot free throws. He has made 5 of 7 in this game. He has a gaudy 25-point game going as Sanders comes back in for the Redbirds for Braxic. That's Taphorn with him. Bradley has Hawkins, Prempeh, Les, Williams, and Jerry Thomas. Powell has fouled out. Braxic has fouled out. And icing Mike Williams this time is Bob Donewald. He wants Mike Williams to think about these free throws. And Bradley needs a pair because with 1:36 to go, they're down 2.
You can bet Mike Williams with only 1:36 to go. We'll probably see the ball again sometime in this game. Bradley's got at least 2 possessions. And with Braxic out of the game, Williams has been almost unstoppable. Well, as good as this is, I think we've got something else that you might be interested coming up this weekend. TV 25 kicks off Super Bowl coverage Saturday night at 6:30 with the Road to the Super Bowl. I thought the pregame show probably started then, but it's just the Road to the Super Bowl. It's a recap of the entire season. Look at Dick Versace try to recap this game. The special will be repeated Sunday at 11, followed by a pregame show at 2 o'clock, the kickoff of the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 20 at 4:15. Spend the weekend with the Bears here on your sports station TV 25. I don't know if the game can be any more exciting than this week has been for the Bears down in New Orleans. They have done everything.
We've seen everybody here but Jim McMahon and Dick Versace talking to his Chargers with 1:36 to go. A couple of items to point out. Bradley has 1 timeout left. Illinois State has 2. If there is a jump ball, the possession belongs to Bradley. Very important at this point, of course. Bradley is in this situation. Down 2, Mike Williams shooting at the Bradley free throw line, I think, 2.
He'll be shooting 2. Bradley has 16 fouls right now. That means if they do foul ISU somewhere down in the final 1:36, ISU will shoot from the line. Their good free throw shooters, for the most part, are in right now. Sanders and Kratz are the best.
For Bradley, the best are Les and Hawkins at the free throw line. Williams misses. The lead for the Redbirds stays 2. Williams has one of two. Bradley is within a point and pressing. Jerry Thomas in. That's one of the reasons. A minute and a half to play. Illinois State's got 38 on the shot clock. A 1-point lead in the ball.
They've been patient and smart for 19 minutes in the second half. See if they are once more.
Here we go again, right to the wire. 22 on the shot clock. That's Starks. Thomas guarding him. Now 1:08 in the game, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Redbirds by one, now by three as Hollifield takes loose.
And a great pass by Taphorn. Hollifield taking the post position that Braxic just left, and now a 3-point lead.
And Bradley needs a hoop in the worst way. They go to Hawkins, who gets inside. Goal! Count it! All of a sudden, Hawkins made his first goal of the second half. And he came at a time when Bradley had to have it.
Well, the Hawk has some sense of timing, doesn't he? In the air and on the scoreboard. Now, as soon as that went through, Dick Versace was about to call a timeout. Rudy Keeling held him back and told him we've only got one left. And so Dick refrained. ISU has ended up calling the timeout. And that might be a key in the final 49.
Because now each side has one timeout remaining. Remember that jump ball possession belongs to Bradley. Frank Bissoni and Mike Dimick hope you're enjoying this exciting game. 49 seconds to go. Bradley is 1 point behind, 55-54, but Percy Hawkins is shooting a free throw to try to complete a 3-point play right when it looked as if the ball game was slipping away from the Braves.
I would have to assume that in the ISU huddle, as you take a look at the Braves talking about what they're going to do in defense, Bob Donewald must be saying, we've got 49 seconds on the clock, 45 shot clock. I wouldn't mind coming out of this with a tie and take my chances in overtime. Just give me a good shot. I thought they showed, again, great patience with Braxic out of the game, having fouled out. They waited for the shot inside last possession, and Hollifield got a good shot. So they might not necessarily take an outside jumper, but Starks has been the hot man in this game from the outside for ISU.
Percy Hawkins' goal was his 9th point. He missed his first 2 free throw tries of this game and then has made 3 in a row. So he's 3 out of 5. And Hawkins could tie the game with 49 seconds to go. And that's a trade for Illinois State, as we point out, 2-1, because if they get a shot right away, then the shot clock is a factor. If they don't, it is not.
Well, for 10,000 plus, I'd say this game was a bargain.
You better believe it.
There he is.
For all of us who don't have to pay to get in, this is one we would have.
It's been a treat. It usually is when these two play, and there's a man that we're always going to be treated to. It always seems in the final seconds this year, the Hawk has got the ball.
So here it is, a chance to tie the game. The game is tied with 47 seconds left.
Kraft takes his time.
The shot clock is on at 36, game clock 39.
And Bradley is in his zone. It's the 1-3-1. Jimmy at top, Hawk on the tail.
Illinois State looks like they're going to take the time all the way down as far as they can. Bradley stays back zone. 24 seconds in the game, 20 shot clock. Tie game at 55, 19 on the game clock, 15 shot clock. Shot clock at 11, 10, 9, game is tied. Starks in trouble, strip, foul on Bradley. With 8 seconds to play in the game. A foul on Bradley with 8 seconds left is on Hawkins.
Illinois State will just sigh. I think they got a break. Starks didn't make a real good move. He was actually in trouble with a couple of Bradley players around him, but Hawk went for the pump fake and they called him for the foul.
1 out of 2 is Starks at the free throw line.
And that's about what he is for the year. He is 50% from the year.
He's had a marvelous game for these Redbirds, and he's got a chance to put them in a position to win it. There's 8 seconds left in this tie. Now this is a 2-shot foul. This is a 2-shot violation. 15 points in the game for Starks. All net. Freshman. ice bucket cold, just as cool as they can be. Matt Paphorn yelling at his teammates, no fouls. The Redbirds by 1 on the verge of a major upset. Good by Stark. The Redbirds by 2, timeout Bradley. Of course, no time has gone off the clock. That was Bradley's final timeout. And Bradley will have a chance to come 94 feet, this time with 8 seconds left. And they will run a play which more than likely will go to Hawkins or Williams to try to get this game tied up.
I got to say, when you have won games on 2 miracle shots, 8 seconds is a long time. This is like trying to run the 2-minute drill with about 8 minutes when it comes to Bradley.
Illinois State has just played a ton here in the second half and really has done a job.
There are the headsets, as you see, one of the ISU assistants. This is something I believe that's Ron Heklinski. This is something that Bob Donewald introduced a couple of years ago. It's not a unique feature, but they'll often put an assistant up in the stands. It's just like the old football version. You sometimes can see something up high better than you can.
There's Dick Versace's chalkboard, as you can see, and he's diagramming the place. You're seeing some arrows pointing movement of people in the ball.
Normally that guy that you saw the star and the arrow pointing around is Hawk. Normally the play that they try to run for him, they'll try to set a pick down low. He runs around it. Hopefully they get him the ball around the 13 to 15 foot area. They've got enough time to run it.
Draxic is out of the game on foul, so is Powell for Bradley. You're looking there at Bob Donewald along with Paphorn and Starks. Starks hit a pair of free throws to put the Redbirds in the driver's seat in this game and threaten Bradley's perfect Valley record in their 18-1 season. Trempe and Les go down to take the ball out.
Number 32, Cliff Peterson right now is against Hawk. They think Peterson's one of their better defensive players.
He's 6'8". Here we go. 7, 6, 5. Left with the ball. He goes all the way inside. Jimmy put it up and in! And the game! The game is tied! The game is tied! Overtime! They did it again.
Well, what did you expect? It wasn't the Hawks. But watch Les sneak behind everybody. Great body movement. He had to get his left hand behind him and throw it up. ISU had done a magnificent job on Hawkins that time. Peterson followed him all the way around the pick, stayed with him, and Jimmy had to take it himself.
And he let go of the ball at about 0-2, and it hit the twines at about 0-1, and 10,000 or so people leaped screaming to their feet. And I tell you, the place is limp. Remember, the possession still belongs to Bradley.
Is one more look. Miracle number 3, maybe not quite, just good enough to go into overtime. A good move to get by Hollifield, and he flips it up with the left hand.
And you could see instantaneously the shot bring the crowd to its feet. There wasn't a mistake on the pass that time because Les dribbled it from one end to the other and challenged all the way.
Well, ISU's last stand will go an extra 5 minutes. It's been a fun 40. I don't mind another 5 of this.
None of us do. They add a timeout, remember. Illinois State with 2, Bradley now with 1. The Braves with Williams in the middle, Thomas, Trempe, Hawkins, and Les. The Redbirds have Hollifield going in the middle, Starks, Pratt, Sanders, and Paphorn. 5 minutes of overtime, Bradley's first possession here in OT.
Remember the last time the Braves played in overtime, they won at Dayton after Hawkins' miracle shot there tied it up in regulation.
Will Bob Donewald's own words be prophetic? It's their ability to play well in pressure. Hawkins hanging, missing. Jerry Thomas is fouled. Fine offensive rebound by Thomas, who followed Hawk's shot. I think Todd Starks got smacked in the nose by Thomas. Boy, these coaches have worked the dickens out of this game.
Well, they'll probably sleep well tonight. Even the loser of this one might sleep well. Jerry Thomas, has had problems from the foul line, but he has been shooting better over the last 4 games. On the season, Thomas is 55% from the line.
2 throws for Jerry Thomas, trying to give Bradley the lead. Well, Bradley has become the lightning in the bottle bunch down the end of the game. They tied it at 0-1 and now lead in overtime by 1. Illinois State can take the lead, and you better believe neither one of these teams are going to fold up their tent.
Now Bradley goes back into a man-to-man, and they got less for an early foul in the backcourt.
Only Jim's second with 4:30 left. It'll be 1 in bonus for Mark Kratz, who's an 86% foul shooter. You need nerves of steel to be a performer in situations like this.
And Bob Donewald at this point would really like to have Bill Braxick in the game. Len Bertolini is in for Bradley as you see Jerry Thomas step out.
No tries at the line for an 86% foul shooter in the game. And no points. He missed. Bertolini. Bradley with the ball on a 1-point advantage. Bradley seeking their 19th win in 20 starts. The Redbirds looking for their 5th win in a row. Les to Williams in the paint. Mike missed. Point blank shot didn't go, and Starks is there. He has been a brilliant player for Illinois State. Under 4 minutes in overtime. Illinois State was leading by 2 at the half. Bradley tied the game at the gun of regulation and leads by 1 here in overtime.
Now the Braves going back into the man-to-man. Starks has been working for a shot against Jimmy Left.
Here it is. He missed. And Trevor Trumpy covers up. And Bradley once again denies the Redbirds and brings the ball up. Jimmy Left signals the triangle. And that means that Williams goes inside and is a wing player. You can see it on your screen, the triangle form. Williams inside. Got it! 28 for the Big Mike. And Bradley lead is 3. Whistle. Illinois State wants timeout. And we're going to come back at a frenzied Carver Arena after this.
Join Mark Strauss tonight at 10, or 10 whatever, since it's 10:05 right now, for a report on other Valley games, plus the latest news from Tom McIntyre and Christine Zach. Bill Houlihan, as always, will have the weather. Turn to the team Central Illinois depends on tonight after the game.
It's Illinois State's ball. 3:07 to play. Bradley by 3. This game will be Heartbreak Hotel for one of these two teams. It looks as if Illinois State had it, and then Les tied it at the gun. Bradley now leads, and Pratt sends it over to Taphorn. The Bradley defense has been revved up a notch. Starks has shown no tendency to wilt in the pressure. The Bradley rebound, and Illinois State is getting one shot as Braxick, who fouled out at 1:36, is no longer on the board.
And I think it's been a factor. They're not looking inside. With Braxick, he was flashing inside that zone and getting, if not shots, fouls. And now they've gone stagnant.
Now will Bradley take some time off the clock. Percy Hawkins swings right to left. He's free and didn't. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Williams. Williams has it again. No, tipped in.
I'm not hurt. They gave it to Williams, and the biggest night of his life continues, and the Bradley lead gets bigger. 30 for Mike.
Starks tries to answer. He can't, but inside Sanders does. It's 62-59. Bradley by 3. 1:45 to play in overtime. Mike Williams 30 points in the game has been a tower of power for the Braves. Trempe's outside, and Hawkins breaks off a pick. Sanders covers him again. What a job done on Hawkins. Less. 1:25 in the game. Bradley holding on to a 3-point lead. It's Big Mike and Les back. Jimmy.
Took a lot of time off the clock. Just played a little two-man game. Jimmy has 12.
Bradley by 5 with 1:05. The crowd is up as one. Sanders. Hollifield and a foul on Les. The one thing that Bradley didn't want there was to stop the clock. And you can see Dick Verstace's reaction. He's done that all year when he's gotten angry, folded his arms and walked the other way.
And did on that lift, which probably has some awesome teeth mark on it right now.
Bertolini comes in. Thomas goes out. What Dick Versace is doing there is putting Bertolini in on the offensive end, Thomas in on the defense. And rebounding, of course. Shooting is Hollifield. He's 2 out of 4 in the game with 10 points. The miss is rebounded by Taphorn. Now stolen by Bertolini, but Illinois State has it back. Hollifield got it in. It's a 3-point game with 45 seconds left. 3-point Bradley lead, as you can see. The clock, 38 seconds in the game, 1 second less on the shot clock.
ISU is going to have to foul. Sanders almost tried to. They're going to have to hurry. That's what Donovan wants now.
They don't want to foul Les if they can help it, but he's keeping the ball, and there they did. Starks fouled Les with 25 seconds to play, and Bradley holding on 64-61 in one honey of a game.
It has been a valiant effort by ISU. I think they just ran out of time, and they ran out of their most effective player of the night when Bill Braxick left with 1:36 to go in regulation.
But Bradley still needs the free throws by Jimmy Les, because with 25 seconds to go, Illinois State could own possession if Jimmy missed.
It's a big shot to go in, but Mike Williams has kept him in it and finally put him over the hump. 30 points. I think his best game as a Brave, and he is the Plaza Video of Morton player of the game. Plaza Video will make a donation in the name of Mike Williams to Bradley.
Now,
Mike.
Here's Les's first free throw down, and that makes it a 4-point game. Now that means Illinois State needs 2 possessions. This next one could mean they would need 3 and maybe ice it for Bradley. He missed. Illinois State 4 down. Bradley falls back zone. 20 seconds in the game. The Redbirds will get a shot in a hurry. Taphorn pulls it up. Rebound. Inside, Illinois State gets a layup from Hollifield. 11 seconds, a 2-point game. Bradley's got Hawkins on the other end. He's going to dunk it. Bradley's going to win the game. 1 second on the clock. And Bradley has done it again.
ISU fought so hard for the rebound on the other end that they just forgot to get anybody back. Everybody wanted to come up and press, and the Hawks snuck behind them.
What a lights-out basketball game. Wow. 1 second on the clock. Still has not ticked away. Bradley, by 4, is the winner. That's all. And in a thrilling, wonderful game for the fans. In overtime, the 17th ranked Bradley Braves protect their Missouri Valley record, now moving it to 6-0, and they win 67-63. And Illinois State goes away once again with a wonderfully performed game on both ends of the court.